This is another simple story, and it's that of my great-great-grandfather, who at 25 years of age was sentenced to death for stealing a duck in Somerset. It was then commuted to life in Van Diemen's Land, and in 1830 he sailed to Van Diemen's Land, leaving a wife and a 2-year-old child behind. Robert was a very determined young man, and this work is really all about his strength of character and his determination to make a good life for him and his new family in very, very harsh conditions. He got his conditional leave pardon in 1842, and the condition was that he was never allowed to return to England. So he had to, what he didn't realise was that his 2-year-old died about a year after he left. And his wife, I have discovered, has ended up as a convict in New South Wales. But they would never have met because they were both illiterate, so there would have been no communication at all. Anyway, Robert goes off the radar for about 4 years, and I'm still trying to find him. But he turns up in Adelaide, and he reconnects with a convict friend from Tasmania, whose young daughter Matilda paid her £2 for her passage from England to Australia to catch up with her father. And Robert and Matilda marry, and they then have 5 children. And about 4 or 5 years later, they decide that it's time to go further afield. And this story and that wheelbarrow is about that journey. They walked 600 miles from Adelaide to Bendigo with 5 children under the age of 7. I have no idea how long it took, but it would have been a long time. And it would have been nothing more than a few possessions, cooking pot, and maybe a tent if they were lucky, or some sort of shelter. So I chose to make the rocks because Robert spent his life clearing the land of rocks for farming. He was a farmer. I've made them out of silk organza because I wanted to talk about that life fragility. But we also know that silk is a very strong thread, and that to me denotes his strength of character and his dreams for a better life. The dates on the top that are impressed in are all very relevant dates to Robert's life and death. And you can't see them, but the documents on the floor are all the original documents from his birth in Port Gregory, in Somerset in 1807. What I discovered doing that was that families didn't always register their child's birth, but the younger son was about to die, and so they decided that they'd get the lot of them done. So Robert was actually born in 1805 and baptised in 1807 in the little parish church. And these documents are really just him walking through his life. The footsteps represent them walking that 600 miles to a new future. The wheelbarrow came from Northam. I found it in an old man's garden, and he very kindly sold it to me. And I pushed it down my driveway over the white stones with the iPhone down low, trying to record the footsteps and the wheelbarrow on the gravel. My footsteps weren't heavy enough, so I trawled YouTube and found some much stronger male footsteps to go with it. And so that's his journey. Meet my great-great-grandfather. Thank you.